Good morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're laser focused and locked in to episode 112 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit the like button, save it to your device, subscribe, send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. And if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, make sure you just tap that like button ever so gently and smash the ever-loving fuck out of that subscribe button. And then you're going to head on over to the comment section, right? And you're going to grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment because, well, naturally, you're an oil man. So you're going to grab some of that trusty oil in your basement. You're going to come back. You're going to grease up that algo by leaving a comment. Maybe you want to talk about how much you missed me or how fucked the world is or how handsome I look today. And then, you're going to do that. And we're going to just get into the episode, aren't we? So, we had a guest last week. You know, I love having guests on this show, but to be honest, there's nothing better than just me and you. You know what I mean? Just mano y mano or womano or they, them, mano, locked in, tackling the week together. And this week is a particularly fucked one. We're going to start with good things happening in my life, because that's really what's most important. My dear friends Paco and Catriel, whose albums, the first two albums I did with them, they're just blowing the fuck up, aren't they? And if you've been watching the show for a little while, you followed along as that's happened with me. And it was just announced that they are going on a stadium tour with Kendrick Lamar. Now, that's a huge deal, right? And we're all excited. And you guys going to join me? I'm going to Chile. I'm going to Mexico City. I'm going to Argentina. I'm going to Brazil. Who knows where else I'm going with the guys? I'm going on fucking tour. All right. And I don't know if they know it yet, but I'm accompanying them. And that's all there is to it. So we're really excited about that. That's happening end of summer. And I've been working on some insane music this week. Can't say who it's for, but really, really exciting stuff. I also have a crazy song coming out next week with one of the biggest artists in the world. Won't tell you who that is until it's out because I am under an NDA. But that's exciting for me and you and the show, and we love that for us. Now, let's get into the week. I saw something on my way here today. It just made me giggle, right? It just made me, hee-hee a little bit. It was an article by this publication called Fast Company, which sounds like a capitalistic hellscape, and well, it is. So here's the article. It says, while retirement typically occurs after completing a career and saving and investing for it, a new trend is emerging among Gen Z career professionals called micro-retirement. Micro-retirement involves taking a 1 to 2 week break from work every 12 to 18 months. Gen Z is using micro-retirement to avoid burnout, find greater fulfillment in their work, and enhance their overall well-being. You mean a vacation? Micro-retirement. You mean it's funny, we actually have a term for that already. It's called vacation. Right? You get vacation time, you take a vacation. It generally lasts 1 to 2 weeks. And we have a word for that already. You know, Gen Z once again redressing trends into something pseudo-revolutionary. You know what I mean? Because just calling it vacation is Gen Z's discovered a new way to reinvigorate their work lifestyle. You know? I might micro-retire from music for a week and go fuck off in Asia. I like to take a 1 hour micro-retirement every day around 1 o'clock. You know, I get some food. I micro-retire. I step away. I call it a career. You know, I just kind of step back from everything. I enjoy my food. And then, much like Jordan on the golf course, I go, what do you say we give this one more go, huh? What do you say we put the jersey back on one more time? I'd like to micro-retire from paying taxes this year, you know? Ladies, feel free to micro-divorce your husbands and go have a fun night on the town, you know? Let's rebrand infidelity. Gen Z is invented a new way to spice up the marriage and keep things fresh. They call it micro-divorce. Yeah, you just micro-divorce from your partner for a day and go fuck the gardener and then come back and like nothing happened. All of Europe takes a full month off in August. And here we are rebranding vacation into micro-retirement. You know, this sounds like something in Severance that they offer their employees. This is hell. This is hell. We are in hell. We are fully immersed in hell. And, you know, what a great segue into one of the people responsible for spiraling us into hell. And that, of course, is Peter Thiel. Now, if you don't know who Peter Thiel is, he is the CEO and founder of the company Palantir, which we talk about on this show a good amount. He recently had an interview where he was talking about transhumanism. And, well, I'm just going to roll the clip. Here we go.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
The answer is yes. Hey, the answer, when someone asks you, you believe humans should continue to live, right? Your answer is, well, yeah. That's what your answer is, okay? There's nothing to think about. There's no, what's going on in your brain? What could you even be thinking about other than, well, yeah.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Yeah, of course. Right, Peter?
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in this.
the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
great. 20 seconds into the clip. It took him 20 seconds to arrive at that conclusion. What questions are there to think about?
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
What problems? Living? Humanity?
And so, you know, it's always, I don't know, you know, yeah, transhumanism is this, you know, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your, I don't know, penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's, man, it's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body.
You want to cut your dick off? That's it? Why stop there? What? You What the fuck is he talking about, dude?
And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way.
What? Orthodox Christianity, by the way. Dude.
And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way. The critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul and you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other, wait. I generally agree.
Okay. Hey, man. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Brother, you're scaring the hoes. You know, the guy you try to introduce, the guy you introduce as a wingman to the two girls when you're trying to, and he just goes like, yeah, but okay, well, have you thought about transhumanism? You know? I'd like to explore trans-intellectualism. You know? because what the fuck is this guy talking about? Anytime I hear Peter Thiel in an interview, he just travels to like 13 different thoughts and never says anything. I mean, I always made fun of people that believe in lizard people, but I think I'm starting to see the vision. You know? Like, and why is he answering the question like it's ultimately his decision? You know? You don't get to make those calls, Peter. Do you think that humans should continue to exist? Thank God it's not up to you. Not for now, anyway. You know, my question is, if Peter is here doing this interview, who's commanding the Death Star? This guy, he's like Thanos, but without the cool catchphrases. You know, Peter Thiel is like the strangest, and like, what's this? What is this? Eugenics book club? You know, what do you think about? What do you think about humans just changing their organs and their heart and their mind and giving themselves bionic arms? When billionaires get bored, they just decide to make humanity worse. You can just see the gears in his head, like, how can I get rid of the weak ones? You know? This guy disdains poor people. You know it, right? Yeah, in this interview, which I'm not going to just keep watching because it's just so long and unbearable. He says, I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible. So yeah, I know it's hard to understand through his stutter and word vomit, but he's quite literally saying the quiet part out loud. And this is the guy that put J.D. Vance in power, by the way. So I know that's comforting. He's also the guy that you're giving all your sensitive data to. So yeah, I mean, look at this guy, dude. Peter Thiel always looks like he's grappling between the decision to kill an infant or a small child. He looks like a melting birthday candle in every interview that he's in. He looks like a vampire that loves to tan in the sun. You know, like a vampire that lives in Miami Beach. He looks like he's drinking Kroger brand diet adrenochrome instead of like the good stuff, you know? Baby blood zero. Sugar free, you know? Glucose free. Okay. Let's move on. You know what? Let me take a sip of this unbranded water. My voice is a little hoarse today. You know what I did this weekend? Reluctantly. 4th of July. I drank. I'm not a big drinker. I don't like to drink. I don't like how it makes me feel. I'll have like a drink. I got turned on July 4th, and then I drank last night too. And my body, who I've been treating very well, if you can't tell, on a 14-day workout streak, I've been eating good. Yeah, my body's not really reacting great to that. So as you can hear, my voice is a little bit, but you know, we love when the voice is a little bit more grovelly because it makes the episodes a little bit more impactful and intimate, right? Anyway, so we're going to get into a week of just fucked up, just an absolute fucked up week in the government. And I, you know, as much as I'd love to do that, you guys know I don't really like talking about politics. And it's probably best that I turn it over to the number one source of news, the most trusted source of news. And that, of course, well, that's GNN. Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, politics, wildlife, and this week, wildlife and politics. And now your host, Gino Borri. Good afternoon. I'm your host, Gino Borri, and this is the news. Well, they did it. They passed the big, beautiful bill. You happy? You guys happy? They did it. They passed just the biggest piece of abortion, just a stillborn abortion of legislation. It went to the House, it went to the Senate, it came back to the House, it just kept, and they just beat it up and they fucking passed it. And holy shit, are we cooked? Oh man, we are so cooked. Oh, we fucked it. Oh, we fucked it so bad, didn't we? Oh, we fucked it. A couple weeks ago, I told you what was in the bill. Well, they made it worse. They made it worse. So let's talk about quickly what they did in the big, beautiful fucking bumblefuck bill. They permanently extended the 2017 Trump-era tax cuts, which benefits your top earners by over $300,000 in tax cuts a year, while doing nothing for middle-income families. A projected $5 trillion added to the national debt. Woo! You guys like the dollar? Sorry to hear that. Buy Bitcoin, because inflation's going to go through the fucking roof. It's already going through the roof. And we're slapping another 5 trillion on there. 5 trillion, 5 trillion, a trillionaire. I'm a young money trillionaire. So that's really cool. All to reward the super, super wealthy with massive tax breaks. So that's great. Well, where's that money? We're going to have to, if we're cutting all this money to give to billionaires, where are we cutting it from? Oh, don't worry. We're just going to be cutting Medicaid. That's right. Millions of Americans are about to lose coverage because they are doing devastating cuts to Medicaid, SNAP, and social safety net, Social Security, just completely fucking over his entire voter base. And man, you hate to see it. Oh, tough luck. Yeah, tough luck. Yeah, see, I'm not on Medicaid. I didn't vote for him. So, I mean, this doesn't really affect me, but ooh, yeah, that's going to be a bummer, huh? Oh, yeah, that's really tough there. Yeah. I mean, unfortunate for the people that didn't vote for him, but for the people that did, oh, yeah, that's just really brutal, isn't it? Oh, that's so, oh, man, what a bummer. Well, so, okay, we're cutting all this money from Medicaid and from Social Security. Well, where is that money going? Oh, I'm seeing that we are funneling $175 billion with a B to ICE and border enforcement. What was that number prior to the bill? 8 billion. Yeah, 8 billion. So I'm no math guy, but that's just an extra $167 billion coming out of your pocket. That's right. And I think this is a good segue into our main story. President Trump, DHS, and Ron I wear stilts in my shoes DeSantis has unveiled Alligator Alcatraz, a massive immigrant detention facility in the Everglades surrounded by alligators. And you know what? Fuck it. It's time for a Pit Viper mega rant. I'd love to wear the cardies, but when it comes to something like this, we're going to have to put the pitties on. Pit Viper mega round. Pit Viper mega round. Okay. So Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah. No, this isn't Tiger King. No, this isn't Game of Thrones. We are living in just the worst reality. Let's find the clip as they roll out Alligator Alcatraz. Benny Johnson, who's a right-wing social media personality and content creator, well, he graced us with a tour of Alligator Alcatraz in the great state of Florida, and here it is.
I just want everyone to know that there's official Alligator Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah, would you rock this drip? Look at that.
Would you rock this drip? Fucking nerd. This is like, how would I describe this? This is like if Nazi Germany sold Auschwitz t-shirts and fitteds. Look how jovial this motherfucker is to watch humans get locked in cages like animals. This sick fuck is acting like he's at Disney World. You know? Well, look, it's actually quite impressive. Look what they've done in just 7, you know. I just like people like this, you know. And I want to really reiterate, just a friendly reminder that Benny Johnson here was paid millions of dollars by the Kremlin to spew Russian propaganda. And that was exposed earlier this year, right? So he's not only a xenophobic psychopath, he's a traitor to our country. And a fucking nerd. Isn't he? Man, what the fuck happened to this place, huh? This was announced on the 4th of July, by the way. How fitting. What an absolute fall from fucking grace. If you ever asked yourself, well, how bad could Trump really be? Well, we're 6 months in, and we already have concentration camps and $175 billion going to Gestapo 2.0. We're turning this place into a goddamn militarized police state. We got guys in masks, unmarked vehicles, no badges, grabbing motherfuckers off the street, not checking ID, not doing due process. And now we're sending them to a fucking swamp in cages with 40 fucking bunk beds. I don't know, gang. I know we all may disagree on a lot of things, especially when it comes to politics, but I can't see how anybody could fucking support this. Well, they came here illegally. They're breaking the... Oh, word? Cool. We should lock them in cages in a makeshift prison in the fucking swamp on taxpayer dollars then. Majority of those detained by ICE have no criminal record. Some of them are even American citizens. There's been countless examples of people who have been detained for weeks. Oops! Didn't realize they were citizens. Silly us. Now they're going to be sent to the fucking swamp. And since due process isn't even a thing anymore, immigrants who are here under legal asylum or with protected status are now locked up indefinitely. They built it in 1 week. It's already flooded. It's littered with human rights violations. There are no cameras. Cruelty is the point. It's the idea. It's a fucking spectacle. It's PR. It's propaganda. And it's not only propaganda. They're really doing it. This should horrify you. This should horrify you. I'm not being dramatic. It's not hyperbole. They are grabbing people off the street with masks, unmarked, grabbing people off the street, and they are sending them to fucking Florida in the Everglades and locking them up. There is no due process. Eventually, you get a court hearing. And I'm sure that's going to go real smoothly. Dozens of immigrants have already died. Yes, there are illegal. Yes, there are criminals, dude. I already know my fucking comment section is going to be full of the dumbest people imaginable. So what? You want rapists and drug dealers to just walk free? No, dumb fuck. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants rapists and drug dealers that are here illegally to be able to roam the streets freely. Nobody wants that. You got it? Can we move on now from that point? The only fucking point you have? Yeah, well, you know, here's the thing. Like, they're just here illegally and I'm paying taxes and they're just fucking here collecting. No. You want to talk about taxes? Sure, let's talk about taxes. It costs taxpayers $90,000 per person locked up in Alligator Alcatraz, which is more than most Americans make a year. So to summarize, the big beautiful bill is wasting your tax dollars torturing immigrants while cutting support from the working class. Also, billionaires and weapons contractors can make more money. How much money do you think that illegal immigrants paid in taxes in 2023? $90 billion. How much taxes do you think Tesla paid? $0. How about GE, General Electric? $0. How about Facebook? $0. How about FedEx? $0. How about Nike? How much money did Nike pay in taxes? $0. How much did Trump pay in taxes? You get it yet? Do you get it yet? You fell for it. Yeah, you fell for it. Hey, look over here. You fell for it. So, but here's the good news. It's not too late to realize that you were wrong. It's not too late. And if this isn't enough, if locking up people in a concentration camp in Florida isn't enough to realize that you might have been wrong, how about this? How about this one? And we're going to keep the pitties on for this one. Donald Trump announced that he's going to host a UFC fight on the White House lawn for America's 250th birthday. No, this isn't an article from The Onion. It's our current reality. What's next? A monster truck show? This is Idiocracy fully realized. It's the movie. I think, fuck that. Fuck a UFC fight. Let's just get a bunch of slaves and make them fight lions to the death with toothpicks. And Trump can stand atop the balcony of the White House like fucking Joaquin Phoenix. You know? The tackiest president in U.S. history who just sold his own perfume for over $100 a pop has turned the U.S. Capitol into a fucking trailer park. It's all so embarrassing. Every day is a new horror. And guys, it's only July. Oh my God, we're fucked. Apparently I didn't get the memo that I'm losing my voice. I've been yelling for the past 5 minutes. But can you blame me? All right. That concludes this week's Pit Viper Mega Rant. Pit Viper Mega Round! Pit Viper Mega Round! Anyway, yeah, sorry guys. Let me get you situated, Pikachu. I'm just so exhausted. You know, I just can't keep up. Literally every day is a new fucking nightmare with this administration. I don't know, maybe I'll just join the 4 a.m. club. Oh, you haven't heard about the 4 a.m. club? Yeah, well, you know, you guys know I'm an unbiased source of news from the middle. We still are on GNN. There's a new conspiracy theory taking over on the left right now, and they're calling it the 4 a.m. club. I'm just going to roll the clip. I think that's probably the best way to go forward with this. So here we go.
Okay, so the 4 a.m. Club is a term coined in a club founded by Gia Prism. I've tagged her and linked one of her pinned videos that explains. But basically on November 6th, thousands of people were woken up around 4 a.m. and those people were called to anchor in the higher timeline where Kamala was the winner. This is not a small club. This is thousands of people, and I was one of them. My specific experience was that I woke up at 4 a.m. on November 6th, and I had a knowing without looking at my phone that he had won. But everything in my body, in my mind, in my soul, in my energy felt like that was not true. It felt like she had won, and I was somehow being made to watch a parallel timeline where he won. And I have existed in that alternate timeline since 4 a.m. on November 6th, just as thousands of other 4 a.m.ers have. I have been so steadfast, so rock solid in my belief that she won, and it was only a matter of time until we all got onto that timeline that my friends have looked at me like I'm crazy and told me I'm delusional.
Yeah.
But those of us in the 4 a.m. club viscerally experienced that timeline split on November 6th. We have been existing this whole time on a completely different timeline, and we have been holding the light. We have been holding the vision. We have been anchoring that timeline while the rest of this country has been going through the necessary steps to merge with that timeline. And I believe, if I am interpreting my meditation downloads correctly, that we will begin collapsing those timelines tomorrow, June 14th.
You know, far left liberal white women continue to be the greatest show on television. So let me get this straight. At 4 a.m., all these women were awoken by some greater, higher power to alert them that Kamala Harris did win the election? Is the 4 a.m. club aware of time zones? What time zones were they all in? The Twilight Zone? This is psychosis, yeah? This is like QAnon meets book club. It's all women. Q-woman. And that's a good joke. Honorable mention, Blueanon would have also been good, but I think Q-woman, it's just too good to pass up, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. She said she was awoken at 4 a.m. I think that's just menopause. Yeah, I mean, instead of scaling the Capitol, they're going to just manifest entry. This is like all the crystal girlies came together to get into politics at the same time, and they formed this like weird cult, you know? Everything in my body and my mind told me she won. Yeah, that's called delusion. The reason that all your friends are making fun of you and think you're delusional and have stopped returning your text messages, it is because you are. This is stage 5 TDS. You guys think I don't like Trump. This is like terminal TDS. I mean, these people think that they've transdimensionally traveled like Ant-Man through the multiverse, but they're posting TikToks from this reality. So they're in another dimension. So in their I'm sorry, I just can't. In their reality, Kamala's president, but they're posting TikToks in the Trump presidency, and they think they're going to fold the timelines together like Doctor Strange. They're going to just like the fucking Spider-Verse. I thought the 4 a.m. club was run by Ashton Hall and Andy Elliott and all the entrepreneur bros who wake up at 4 a.m., but now it's just a cult run by the Delulu-crats. Because what's crazy, I woke up at 3 a.m. on the election day for my cold plunge and hard forked into an even higher timeline where Joe Biden is 137 years old and still the president, going on his 18th term. And I'm just in that reality right now, trying to bring everything, you know. What did she say at the end? She's interpreting her meditation downloads? What did she say? I got to get to the end of this clip.
Has been going through the necessary steps to merge with that timeline. And I believe, if I am interpreting my meditation downloads correctly, that we will begin collapsing those timelines tomorrow, June 14th.
Right. She's just interpreting her meditation downloads. You know, I think that download had a malware virus. Yeah, I think she downloaded something bad to her computer. It's been a couple weeks since June 14th. Has anybody checked in on those meditation downloads? Can somebody send me the Dropbox link? I'd like to review those meditation downloads. You know, imagine being so stupid that you think the election was stolen. I mean, can you guys believe that? Can you believe somebody would believe something so dumb to think that the election was stolen? Can you fucking believe these Democrats, huh? Am I right, Republicans? Nobody would believe that. All right, that's enough with the fucking GNN. Actually, there's one more thing. I thought we were done, but the news keeps rolling in. Elon Musk has just started the America Party, a new third party for independent thinkers like me and you. Yeah, the America Party. Sick name, dude. That's what you came up with, huh? Is it because he owns the @America handle? And he's like, wow, this is a great name for this. This is like me starting a record label and calling it Music Label Records. Music Records, you know? I'm going to keep this short. Bad news for Trump. Very bad news for Republicans because they're going to split the ticket. Musk is a psychopath. He's just as petty as Trump. Musk can outspend and out-amplify the GOP with his platform, and nobody goes on Truth Social. So, yeah. We saw how he won the election for Trump this time. It's going to be really tough. I don't know if this is like a move to like force the Republicans' hand. I don't know. His whole thing is like he wants to cut spending, which I like, but I think he's also a fucking loser psychopath. So don't want him running. He can't run for president, but I don't like his party. I don't like the idea of it. But I don't know. It's too early to know what the fuck's going on with that. So I think in conclusion, what I will say, the pattern here between Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Zuckerberg, all these other techno-fascist sociopaths, there's a giant power grab taking place right above our heads for data and access. And these old greedy bastards in Congress are either oblivious to it or just too corrupt to care. So it's up to you to pay attention, or just don't. Just ignore it. Close your eyes. Pray that it all works out and continue watching the show, and I'll keep you updated. Good luck. And now we're going to get into the FOH HOF because it's been a very stressful sequence. Okay, it was a very stressful GNN. Let's come back down to earth. Let's have some fun again. We're going to, everybody breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, now let's laugh. Yeah. The first inductee into the FOH HOF this week is this clip. Here we go.
You can't even make babies with a girl right now.
I can.
You cannot make babies with a girl. I can take HCG and no, bro. Your sperm get crushed by my sperm and his sperm.
Yo.
Did bro just challenge him to a Sperm-Off in the parking lot? Sperm Star! You know? Little World Star hip hop callback. Yeah, this is psychotic. We can go sperm for sperm.
You can't even make babies with a girl right now.
I can.
You cannot make babies with a girl. I can take HCG and no, bro. Your sperm get crushed by my sperm and his sperm.
Yo.
Who does this guy think he is? The infertility enforcer? How do you even react if a guy calls you sterile, you know? I'm not sterile. Oh, yeah? Prove it. Get my wife pregnant then. No, go ahead. No. You're potent? Go ahead. Get my wife pregnant. No, come on, honey. No, this guy's got a point to prove. How did you even get in this? How does anybody arrive to this situation? Why is he flexing his sperm strength in front of all these strangers huddled around? This is like a semen rap battle. It's like semen smack TV. And not only his sperm, his bro's sperm too. Our sperm would fucking smoke your sperm. Is he suggesting a sperm relay race? This guy's a sperm supremacist. Paul Sandino. Paul here is trying to have a parking lot come off, you know, a coming competition. Talking about his swimmers like they're fucking Michael Phelps, you know? I'm the alpha jizz. This is like my dad can beat up your dad, but instead it's my unborn child can beat up your unborn child. Dude's trying to have a fucking bukkake off in the fucking Vons parking lot. You know, this is just insane. There's only one way to settle this. In a petri dish. In fact, Paul, I want to challenge you. Let's have a sperm fight. Let's do it, man. Somebody get Dana White on the phone. I've got $1 billion idea. And we can host it on the White House lawn. What do you say? Unborn mono v. unborn mono. Next video. Here we go. Just take a sip of this unbranded water. Holding on by a thread right now. Voice is dying. Okay. Yeah, here's our next video.
I have a strict $1,000 bathroom rule, and I'm very upfront about this with my teams. If you text me in the summer and you're in my car group and say, hey, will you pick me up and go to the bathroom? I'll send you a screenshot of my Venmo and say, as soon as $1,000 hits my Venmo, I'll come pick you up. And here's the reason behind that. And if you're in door to door, you should also be bullish on this. Most people are just nice. And so when someone asks you to go to the bathroom, you take 5 minutes, you get to your car. You take another 5-10 minutes to go pick them up. You take 5-10 minutes and you go take them to the gas station. You wait for them to do their business. Then you have to reverse that whole process. And the person that actually has the most opportunity loss is you for picking them up. I just believe in the time value of money. And if you need to poop that bad, call an Uber. $30 for you is a lot cheaper than the $1,000 it's going to cost me an opportunity.
Hey buddy, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're doing it wrong. My sales team wears diapers. Because think of the opportunity loss, you know, going to the bathroom at all. Just shit your pants. If you can't make a sale with a shitty diaper, you're no salesman at all. And you're no salesman for my team. Yeah. And we don't roll the windows down either when you get back in the car. We're going to all just, we're going to let that ruminate. No AC either. If you're a real salesman, you go door to door and ask to use their bathroom, blow it up, and then make the sale. In fact, you don't even flush. Assert dominance as a salesman. This clip is just, I full transparency, I had maybe 100 people send me this clip. I mean, these people are just, they're evolving, you know? Every time I'm like, well, nobody can say anything more absurd than that. This guy comes along. Why are your employees calling you to go to the bathroom? Do none of them have cars? You know? It's just like, I have another great solution for this. Maybe don't let your sales team eat or drink water. That way, they don't have to use the bathroom at all. You know? Dude, if you didn't already hate door-to-door salesmen, this guy who graduated magna cum laude at Solar Panel State University has just rolled out this absolute sack of bullshit, you know? Yeah, bullish on, what did he say? I'm bullish? You should be bullish on this. $1,000 bathroom rule. Dude, go fuck yourself, dude. What, you're losing $1,000 by taking your fucking salesperson on your team to the 7-Eleven bathroom?
I have a strict $1,000 bathroom rule, and I'm very upfront about this with my teams.
Yeah.
If you text me in the summer and you're in my car group and say, hey, will you pick me up and go to the bathroom? I'll send you a screenshot of my Venmo and say, as soon as $1,000 hits my Venmo, I'll come pick you up. And here's the reason behind that. And if you're in door to door, you should also be bullish on this.
Yeah, dude, you should be bullish on this, dude. Yeah, and if you're in door to door, you should actually be bullish on this. Dude, if you're in door to door, you should be so bullish. Dude, I'm bearish on going to the bathroom. Oh, so bearish on the time value money loss of going to the bathroom. I'm super bullish on pissing your pants. Dude, if you're in door to door, you should be super bullish on grown men soiling themselves, man. just a completely made up story told to nobody. There's nobody there. He set up the camera and just concocted a bizarre power trip fantasy, fetishizing making male adults ask permission to go to the potty like a kindergarten teacher, then forcing them to soil themselves. Andy Elliott cosplay. Dork. Sorry, you are not Sigma. Fuck, let me grab my Sigma detector real quick. Let's just see if this thing still works. Actually, grab my Sigma. This is my Sigma detector. Beep, 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 beep. Nothing. Sorry, you are not Sigma. All right. Last video here. This is an absolute gem. Let me take another sip of water. God bless this girl's heart. I feel a little bad making fun of this girl, but what choice do I have?
Why does a bus have 50 seats? And why does a Lamborghini have only 2? Because there are only a few successful people in this world that when they put their mind to something and they focus on something, that thing ends up resulting in their beautiful life. So don't ride the bus because that's for a lot of people. Ride the Lamborghini because that's only for a few people.
Dude, fuck yeah. You ain't gotta go to work. I love how... Okay, everyone. Let's get serious. Let's watch it again.
Why does a bus have 50 seats? And why does a Lamborghini have only 2? Because there are only a few successful people in this world that when they put their mind to something and they focus on something, that thing ends up resulting in their beautiful life. So don't ride the bus because that's for a lot of people. Ride the Lamborghini because that's only for a few people.
Yeah, dude. Wait till she hears about bicycles. You know, some Lamborghinis actually have more than 2 seats. Actually, some Lamborghinis have up to 5 seats. And hey, sweetheart. So a Lamborghini actually has 2 seats because it's a car. And the bus has a lot of seats because it's a public transportation vehicle meant to transport a lot of people, right? Like a party bus or a limo or, right? So that's why. And, you know, why stop there? Why settle for 2 seats or even 1 seat? Just walk. Because there's no seats when you walk. And there's really nothing more exclusive than that, is there? Dude, shout out to this girl. What's her name again? I want to make sure I get her name right. I'm a fan. Aisha Hassan. Dude, I'm a fan of Aisha Hassan. She's rocking the Technicolor Dreamcoat Daniel wore in the Bible. And I mean, the fit is incredible. Look at the eyeshadow. The nails. I mean, she's killing it. Matching the background. The message is intentional, almost written, and communicated so clearly. I'm a fan. I mean, does this woman have a course I can buy? Sign me up. They're making podcast bro women now. And I got to tell you, they can't hold a candle to her. She is a star in the making. I'm going to you know how you unironically, these people like just consume your algorithm? Maybe it's just me. I'm going to start seeing this girl's videos all the time, and I'm going to watch and be supportive in the comments on everyone. You'll see me in the comments moving forward on these. I'm going to reinforce her. I want more of this content. I want more of this like live, laugh, love, Facebook quote, turned into a fake conversations. I think the internet could use more of it, and I'm going to be supportive of it. And if you aren't, well, do you just hate women? You got to ask yourself, is it because you're a misogynist and you don't want women to be successful and you think that they're just housewives? Because, you know, when you think back on history, there's a reason that Rosa Parks rode the bus instead of the Lamborghini. Because when she rode that bus for women's rights, when she hopped out of her Lamborghini Aventador and hopped into the bus for women's rights, and then they said, you can't sit here. She said, no, I can sit here. In fact, my Lamborghini's parked out back. And if I want to, I could ride that Lamborghini. But in a move of defiance, I'm going to sit on this bus with the regular people who can't afford the Lamborghini. And that is why you should never ride the bus. You ain't got to go to work. Whoa, oh. I would play it, but I don't want to get demonetized. I actually might get demonetized anyway. You don't got to go to work. Whoa, oh. Yeah, hopefully the Rosa Parks joke doesn't get me canceled. Guys, it's going to conclude the episode this week. To make up for my Rosa Parks remark, I am going to go ahead and thank Beyonce for giving me the opportunity to have a career in podcasting and music. Thank you, Beyonce. I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I want to thank you for canceling your Monday plans. Maybe you called in sick from work because you wanted to be locked in watching it at your house. Totally understand that. Your boss will understand. They're also probably watching the show. I want you to hit that like button and subscribe if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And then what you're going to do, you're going to head on over to YouTube because you should be watching it on YouTube. Isn't that right, Gengar? You're going to head on over to YouTube. You're going to tap that like button. You're going to smack the fuck out of that subscribe button. And you're going to grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment because naturally, you're an oil man. And yeah, you're going to take your Lamborghini over to the comment section and you're going to tell me what you enjoyed most about this episode. And as we know, Lamborghinis run on oil. Thank you guys. That concludes this week's episode. We got another fun one for you next week. Until next week, as the world continues to crumble beneath our feet and we get to watch UFC SmackDown on the White House lawn, and the inmates of Alligator Auschwitz get to watch from the tiny TVs that they probably don't have in there. Good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show.
Pikachu, what's the name of that brand new show you gotta know? And with who?
Gino.
That's me.